Hey guys, this is Coral and welcome to the 500 Project. Today I'll be introducing the natal chart of the infamous French writer, Jean Genet. Jean Genet was a 20th century French writer who specialized in autobiographical fiction. His writings are inspired by his own criminal experiences and homosexual life in prison. He was a jailbird for most of his early life due to his petty crimes including theft, counterfeiting money, smuggling drugs. At one point of his life, he even bragged that, "I've committed almost every crime in the calendar, excepting only murder." Running away and being arrested is a major pattern in Genet's life. Simply glancing at the chronology of Genet's biography shows how often Genet is prisoned for petty thefts. He was even liable for a life sentence at one point for his repeated crimes. Now let's see how does this pattern show in his natal chart. First, we notice that Genet is a Leo ascendant. He is proud, confident and very stubborn. Despite being a thief, he doesn't try to hide his actions. He doesn't even try to change his habits of shoplifting even after being caught numerous times. According to a court statement when Genet was examined by Henri Claude, a neuropsychiatrist, he has not hesitated to acknowledge the theft of which he is perfectly aware. He recognizes all his errors in social life, does not excuse his thefts, but he minimized them out of consideration for the interest that he entertains on questions about literature, which cause him to be above all other considerations. Leos tend to be too proud to lie about their actions, and does not care what he thinks is below them. His sun located in the 5th house of Sagittarius, his actions are somewhat philosophical and it shows how much pride he has on the question of literature. His ascendant has a partile conjunction to the moon. This structure alone explains so much of Genet's tendency to run away. The moon being swift and mobile, she can be very whimsical and irresponsible. However, notice the great irony here. The moon is in fact the ruler of the 12th house which governs prisons, psychiatric units or any form of disciplined containment. Therefore even though the Leo moon essentially strives to be independent and free, the moon itself is actually the cause of her own predicament. It is Genet's own moon that results this loop of being caught and running away again. If Genet never ran away from the French army in the first place he would have never had to be arrested or run away in the first place. This pattern is seen as early in his childhood as he runs away from his foster parents, children's hospitals or any form of containment. Let's talk about another notable complex. The ascendant moon squared to the 4th house of Jupiter. Now this is an interesting combination as the relationship of the Scorpio Jupiter and the Leo moon is unilateral. The Jupiter is gaining dignity by both triplicity and term from the Leo while the moon loses dignity to Scorpio. In other words, even though the Jupiter is the great benefic, the free moon feels very uncomfortable. A novice astrologer might assume that Genet had a rich and nourishing childhood based on his strong Jupiter in the 4th house, but horoscope interpretation is not quite that simple. Genet was actually abandoned by her mother when he was only 1 year old and he was left to the hospice of welfare children. Since abandoned, Genet lived as a ward of the state, placed to a foster family till he was 13 years old. Thanks to his good academic scores, Genet escaped the fate of a farmhand and was sent to apprenticeship as a typographer at a school in Paris, but he runs away. He is then placed in the home of a blind composer but is convicted of stealing the money he was entrusted with and is sent to a psychiatry clinic. But of course, Genet escapes again, and is caught by the police. This cycle repeats for a number of times until he is condemned to an agricultural penitentiary colony, known as the Children's Prison in Mettray. Again we see a general pattern here. Genet is trying to run away from the very force that tries to educate and foster him. It is because he is refusing the country's foster system that is trying to cure his behaviors. He is the one that ran away from the patronage or the foster family. Jupiter, in his chart, takes on the form of judicial law and police enactment. This is especially more relevant as the highly dignified Mars was also blended in with the strong determined Scorpio Jupiter. Another structure that needs to be addressed in Genet's chart is the trine of Saturn and Sun. It is not just a trine but an applying partile aspect, meaning that it is an extremely influential structure, especially as the Sun is the ascendant's lord. From a classical astrologer's point of view, the ill-dignified malefic planet Saturn would be devastating to Genet's Sun. But with little attention, we can see that the aspect is actually mutual reception. The Saturn is damaging the Sun but also empowers it. This is what makes Genet's chart absolutely fascinating. Saturn's malefic forces is actually the inspiration of Genet's literature. It is the Saturn's affliction and misery what makes Genet's writing not just unique, but sacredly beautiful. Existentialist Jean-Paul Sartre's literary analysis of Genet's work, Saint Genet, Actor and Martyr, elucidates what makes Genet's literature so aesthetically sacred. He mentions, "But the striking thing is that the erotic humiliations of a homosexual and the occupational risks of a thief are tinged with an aura of the sacred. Confronted with a trivial, everyday event, Genet is turned inside out, like a glove, the whole world is involved, one touches the ineluctable. These erotic and occupational accidents have a meaning which transcends them, and, as has been said of love, they are much more than what they are, because they manifest the immortal enchantment that begot a monster and killed a child." Genet is capable of using his Saturn, personal shame and fear be more than anything truthful. His awareness of being instantly put to the universe of evil is in fact hurtful to Genet. He is ashamed of his own pilfering, and that is what makes him special. If Genet was simply a petty thief and burglar with no morals, any criminal actions would not be significant to him. But his shameful past of stealing, being abandoned, running away, prostitution is actually hurtful to the sensitive writer. So he writes about it, and this truthful, innocent confession is what led to his success as a writer. His own struggles being Saturn, becomes sacred that made his status as a saint, 9th, led to his successful reputation Sun as an artist, 5th. So in a way, the Aries Saturn has definitely made Genet's early life destitute and abysmal, but it eventually allowed him to become a successful writer. To summarize, we've analyzed Jean Genet's natal chart on 3 substantial complexes. The Leo lunar ascendant presenting a Genet's jailbird lifestyle. 4th house Jupiter squaring the moon, making him reluctant to receive any help. 3. The trine of Saturn and the Sun, resulting in his own miseries being used for his artistic success. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like. If you're interested in the 500 project, please subscribe. My name is Coral, and I'll see you guys next time.